Hey, what's up, wrestling fans? Welcome back to another edition of Mike on the Mic. I got Gerald here with me on the table. What's going on, Gerald?
Yeah, I'm doing good, but apparently a lot of wrestlers aren't.
No, not at all.
These coronavirus is affecting everyone, including the WWE, who, might I add, was recently named an essential business in the state of Florida, which is under a stay-at-home order. So I guess they got one blessing and then had to get rid of a load of wrestlers. I'll start by reading the names off, and we'll go from there. Top of the list, Kurt Angle, Drake Maverick, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Rowan, Sarah Logan, No Way Jose, Mike Chioda, a referee, that's crazy and random, Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis, EC3, Aiden English, Leo Rush, Primo, and Epico. And, of course, you said that Rusev was added to that list if you go to the WWE Network.
Yeah, he also was it was not on that list that you just read off, but he was on a subsequent list that I saw and verified it on the WWE app that I have on my phone.
Yeah.
So that list, if I have my addition is correct, that's about 20 names. And there's some big ones in there.
Yeah, really big. Kurt Angle, right out the gates, Kurt Angle jumps out to me because, number one, he's a legend. I thought he was signed to a Legends contract, but I guess it didn't hold up too well. Also, Leo Rush, actually, about a few days ago, Leo Rush tweeted out, talking about his disdain for the fact that he was counted out of the Cruiserweight Championship tournament. Of course, now we know a few days later, it was because they were going to fire him. So
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
really, it's really crazy. Just the wrestlers that they got rid of. Of course, you got the club. I'm like, that's crazy. They were just at WrestleMania, so I guess Undertaker buried them and their careers.
I guess so. I mean, it was like that match was a 3-on-1 and actually turned into about a 10-on-1 with all the Druids when they joined in.
Yeah.
But so I guess not only that match was not only a last ride, like you said, for the Undertaker, but a last ride for the Good Brothers as well. So that's essentially ends the club in WWE.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I think everybody had expectations of what happened in Japan with the Bullet Club, and that, of course, didn't happen. And WWE virtually seemed like they did everything to make it not happen, including putting Finn on NXT. But here we are. This is an effect of the coronavirus. I mean, you saw the money they lost. You can imagine the money they probably lost from all the live shows that don't have crowds in it. Then on top of that, you have, WrestleMania didn't have anybody, and that's a big payday for WWE.
Yes, it is.
No matter how bad wrestling is, how bad their content is, they can always fill seats for WrestleMania.
Yep.
For this year, they weren't able to because of the virus. Not to mention the XFL. A lot of money was put in the XFL. Here we are. The XFL is now defunct again. And that's another quite a few $1 million out of Vince McMahon's pocket. And here you go, the way they balance it out. So,
yeah, I was really hoping for a better disposition for the XFL this time. It looked really good when it started off. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, this time I think it was more due to the pandemic than
100%
failure itself. But there were a couple of franchises in the XFL that were not doing so great. They just were not a big draw for their areas. But between he did put a lot of money. He put millions into the XFL to jumpstart it again.
Ton. Yeah, and that was the thing, huh?
I was going to say just millions and millions of dollars went into that, and because they can't play, due to the current circumstances, they can't pay their coaches, their staff, their players, anything.
Yeah,
and they're not bringing. There's no fans, so nobody's buying merchandise, nobody's going to games, nobody's buying concessions, all of that. It's just is a steep downhill drop.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the fallout. All these wrestlers that are being, laid off essentially. Now, I don't know. Now, you might be able to tell me, but is it a case of? Is it known if it's a case of kind of like how a lot of businesses just in America are right now, where they have to lay off a bunch of employees, or is this legitimately they're done, they're gone from WWE? Good luck, maybe AEW or some other wrestling brand once this is all over.
I think it's going to remain to be seen. I feel like some of them will be back, some of them may not. Rusev, for example, had seen multiple sources that he asked to be released from his contract. I guess he wasn't happy with the way he was being used.
Would you?
Some of the other guys like Hawkins and Ryder, they weren't on TV a whole lot. I feel like they did a lot of house shows, but they weren't used really a whole lot on the main roster. Sarah Logan, since they broke up the Riot Squad, she's really been, I don't want to say use the word irrelevant, but she hasn't done much.
Yeah. EC3, I'm actually a little sad EC3's gone. I mean, when he came to WWE, I kind of had hopes for him. But, again, it's a TNA product, and we've seen what WWE does with TNA products. No matter how good they may be, WWE just does not utilize them well. Yeah, Leo Rush also caught me off guard because I felt like Leo Rush was doing pretty good down in the Cruiserweight division. I felt like he had held the title a couple of times, and I don't know. I'm surprised by a couple of these names. A few of them, Heath Slater. We haven't seen him in ages. Eric Young, I can't remember the last time I saw him on TV. Yeah, some of these make sense, but some of them are just like, wow, really?
Yeah. The club, I couldn't believe that they the club is gone. They just revived the club and put together this whole gimmick, the entrance theme and all of that, and now they're gone again. I mean, this isn't Gallows' first time being released, so it's not his first rodeo. So I mean, he could very well be back in a different capacity, but who else was on that list? EC3. I think EC3, he was a great acquisition, but he was never used properly.
Never.
He was one of the best heels in TNA when he was there. And if they'd used him better, used him correctly, he could have been a monster heel in WWE. He could have been a much bigger draw. And, it's like Drew McIntyre the first time around. They failed to use him properly, and that was that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, who knows? I mean, we saw what happened with Drew McIntyre, so essentially anything is possible in the WWE, as we all know.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is the last of the cuts. I don't see this being the last.
I think there's more to come. And
this is just wave one.
Yeah, and I actually was just reading something else right before we hopped on here that Kane and the Big Show officially retired.
Really?
As you know, Glenn Jacobs is the governor of Knox County in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I guess he's gonna. I don't know how true that is, if they actually did, but it's something I read. So kind of taking it with a grain of salt at this point until I see more on it.
Until I see a WWE post about it, thinking Big Show and Kane.
Yeah, I can see Kane, Glenn Jacobs, focusing more on his politics and his term as mayor. And as far as the Big Show, I can see the Big Show staying on a more minor behind-the-scenes role as like a producer or like a talent scout or something.
Or a trainer, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see him hanging around doing something. But as far as some of the contracts they had, WWE just can't afford them right now.
Yeah, and like I said, you got to think of the names that are still there. I mean, you got to pay Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins, let's see, John Cena, he's hit or miss. Brock Lesnar, he's worth so much money. And it's like there's so much top-heavy money that, again, a situation like, I mean, what wrestlers we're talking about on that list, most of them are mid-carders. I mean, of course, you had a couple of guys that, poured on the heartstrings, like the club, EC3, Leo Rush. But for the most part, those are mid-carders or guys that were trying to probably get out of the company like Rusev. Yeah. I think in the next wave of cuts, I predict this happening definitely probably by next week.
I think there's going to be a few more surprises.
You're going to see
I think there'll be a few more surprises. People you wouldn't expect to be released.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of people that are going to get cut that are going to probably hurt people, hurt a little feelings here or there.
I mean, I'm just even the ones that have just recently made returns. Like, I would hate to say it, but I would hate to see it happen to Edge, and he's at the top of his return.
I don't think that's going to happen.
And Nia Jax returned last week on Raw, so
I could see Tamina being on the way up.
Tamina,
I could see a Nia Jax on the way. I could see a Nia Jax possibly being on the edge. But Edge, he's here to stay. I think he's going to be put on a Legends contract because they need him to fight Seth Rollins for that title at SummerSlam. That's my prediction. I'm calling it.
Even Lana. I mean, Rusev being out.
Yeah.
And the storyline with Lashley seemingly ended. You know, because Lashley saying he needs new management or a new wife or both. You know,
she's on her way out. No
so
question.
I think she's on her way
the
out.
Iconics. The Iconics are another one I'm curious about. I like the Iconics. Most people don't, but I do. They haven't been on TV in Lord knows how long, and they were one of the first women's tag team champions. Obviously, one of them is married to what's his name? I can't even remember. Oh, it's gonna kill me. But anyways, one of them is married to an AEW superstar right now, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Peyton Royce, yeah, she's the one married to Sean Spears, actually.
Sean Spears,
so
known as Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember his WWE name, and I was like, "What's his real name?" Yeah, so like Peyton Royce and Sean Spears are married in real life, and there's been some controversy with that. So this could be a way for them to push the Iconics out. And like I said, AEW might be looking to push some of these stars. It could be a good fit for them.
Yep.
AEW seems like it's the land of the misfits. So hey, what could happen?
Well, since you said that, that makes me wonder about Renee Young, seeing as how John Moxley is in AEW, her husband.
But she has such a tight gig with Fox and what they're doing with wrestling now that I don't see her leaving that. They're paying her probably a good amount of money simply to host that show. What is it? The show on FS1.
Backstage?
She hosts that, huh?
WWE Backstage.
Yes, that's the name.
And by the way, CM Punk returns tonight on it.
Yeah, so with that, I don't see. Actually, I'm looking.
No, she just got a major promotion too with that gig.
Yeah, I don't think she's leaving WWE. I think she's safe.
She's another one who her husband works for a rival promotion, and so.
Yeah. But yeah, that's WWE.
Just
wow.
Pure craziness, bro. Like all this, they've taped so many episodes of Raw, SmackDown, NXT. And then WrestleMania, they put so much into WrestleMania those 2 nights. Yeah. I shudder to think of how many millions of dollars went into that.
Yeah. I mean, how much money went into that? Number one, I mean, obviously the Performance Center sells, obviously is a lot cheaper than, say, Madison Square Garden or like the Superdome down in New Orleans. But, yeah, what are you going to do?
And especially WrestleMania, not having that 80 or 90,000 fans, all the
so much money,
ticket sales from the merch sales, and a lot of that money, I would suffice to say, goes into paying the superstars, all the backstage people, the setup crew, all that stuff.
WrestleMania is the equivalent of Black Friday for the retail world. This is where WWE makes its money. Yep. WWE makes its money at SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series. Those are the big four. Yep, and that's where they make their money. And they did not make much money, if any, from WrestleMania. I mean, WWE, the WWE app, I mean, okay. Like,
subscribers that have already paid, $10 a month, for that service.
That's $10 a person. Yeah. Think about it like this. So, let's see. Probably fill about $80,000 in a stadium. That's $10 a person. So I think that's about $800,000 compared to the millions they would have made.
Yeah,
like it's unfathomable. It's insane. Of course, I mean, this is just the state of the world we live in right now, and you're gonna see more like this. I mean, I'm waiting for AEW to drop some cuts because there's no way if WWE is doing this, that means AEW is definitely probably scared.
Yep.
They're a company without the financial backing of Vince McMahon. The Khans, they're rich, but they're not Vince McMahon rich.
True. But I think they are not, they're not as big a promotion as WWE. They have one show.
That's true.
They have probably about a third of the roster, if not less than that, than the WWE has. So could they benefit from the releases? Sure. Will they have the same issues as far as having to release people? Maybe. We have to wait to see.
Yep, definitely have to wait and see it. And in the next few weeks, we're going to see what's going on. If this continues another month,
it's definitely going to be super interesting, to see, how much longer the WWE can survive, through this pandemic, with all the cuts they're making. I mean, sure, they're saving themselves some money, but I'm sure they'll lose network subscribers.
Network subscribers are going to drop off. But then again, you may have some network subscribers that may hop on just because there's nothing else to watch. And hey, I want to watch WrestleMania 17 from 2001 when I was 12 years old, which is probably what I'm actually going to do probably later this week. But
actually,
that's the situation.
Every WrestleMania.
Yeah, I have a friend that's actually, she's going through watching every WrestleMania. She's on WrestleMania 15 right now. So, I mean, she's about halfway there. But yeah, wow.
Yeah, this was 36, so 14 more years. It'll be 50 WrestleManias.
Yeah, that's
a decade and a half. And the other interesting thing is that I saw Vince McMahon is on the president's group to help get this thing restarted.
Yeah, I saw that too. So I'm a little interested on how that goes. And again, that plays well for WWE in general. Hey, it's good to have friends in high places, but I don't know. We're going to see what happens. We're actually likely probably going to do an episode on LSO, me and Justin probably talking a little bit about other sports, but I don't see sports coming back until there's a vaccine. That's just my personal opinion. That's just what I predict is going to happen. If there isn't a vaccine, there won't be butts in seats. They're not going to, huh?
I was just going to say, it's definitely going to be super interesting to see what happens through all this, and how much longer it's going to take to get the economy restarted and everything reopened and everything back to quote unquote normal. Yeah.
But that being said, we are going to cut because we're going to talk more about this as this goes on. I mean, Mike on the mic, LSL, LitTube in general, we're here to, speaking to the fans, we're here to inform you guys of information like this. So we're going to have tons of updates. We're able to do our videos a lot faster now, be able to get them up to you. So stay tuned for more. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And Mike, anything else you want to say?
No, I just want to say, thanks for checking out the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a fan, and stay tuned for future episodes.
Yeah, stay safe, everyone, and God bless.